Fine. Okay. Maseches Bava Metzia Daf Memtes Amud Beis. Memtes Amud Beis. This shiur is Lilu Nishmas of Imorim Menachem Ben Akiva, Rus Bas Shalom Saul Bas Moshe Hen Yerisha Bas Ilchon Yitzchok, Dov Ben Yisrael Lerefuas Aviva Bas Dvoiro Moshe Arye Ben Nechomo. Ay. Besoyer Pninecha Bas Gil Arochel Besoch Shachol Yisrael. So. We're learning today the sugiyah of, we're starting the sugiyah of Tagarey Lod. Tagarey Lod is a famous sugiyah, famous for being nice, easy, simple. You can learn it when you're half asleep. And I am, of course, joking. Now, there's no reason to be scared of the sugiyah. If we go step by step, slowly, we have to get the basics and build it, one floor after the other, Be'ezras Hashem, and all will be clear. Daven to get it right. Okay, so the basics are here on the whiteboard, although I know they're not so clear for the people online. But basically, the rule is as follows. We said, and we're going to add more details, but the basics are, if a person was cheated, overpriced or underpriced, he bought an item that's worth, let's say, 5, okay, and now you an item worth 5, and the Schwindler who sold it to you sold it for 6. That's called shtus, not shtus nonsense, but shtus at 6, 1/6 of the item. So if the item has a market price of 5, recognized by Chachomim, and the person overpriced, then what do? Then 6 is like the measuring rod, that's the middle of the road. If the item was sold for more than it should have been, but the additional price, the unfair additional price was less than a 6, 5.5, half a shekel more, or could be 500,000 more, but percentage. You already don't understand. No. I'm starting slowly. If it's less than a 6, in other words, instead of 5, you sold 5.5, then you say it's mechila. Your mechel, we assume Chachomim decided that's how people are mechel. We're going to discuss that today, how exactly it works. But Lamaisa, we assume that this is not something to complain about. And even if the person comes back to the store all irate and says, I showed it to my relatives and I showed it to the other Tagorim, as we said, and I showed it to other people, and it's really 5 and not 5.5, or 500, not 550, it could be, big differences, 5 million and not 5.5 million, So then we say, no, that goes unnoticed. And the deal is good and everything is good. Middle case is this. The middle case is what you're saying is a 6. It's just a 6. Instead of 5, he was moine. He cheated him on exactly a 6 extra. Then, as of now, although things are going to change, as of now, we say that you keep the deal, but lemaise you should get the extra money back. How long do you have? Now today we're going to talk about both factors, and that's where it can get confusing. How long? All this is the amount, the sum, The sum is how much do you get back, if at all. But also comes another question, how long after the purchase can you come back and complain and say, hey, you overpriced me, you tricked me? How long after? When we talk about the middle case, we say what? We said the Mishnah. Enough time to show, around the market, show your other friends, the Americans that have been in long enough to know all the Schwindlerei, and they can tell you, hey, mister, you were ripped off, let's say it takes half an hour. Let's say, I don't know the time for now, it will be discussed later. Let's say half an hour, enough time to show around. If you have enough time to show the product that you bought to other people, let's just assume it's half an hour. And again, enough time to show. That's the time. You have some and you have the amount of time. Both are very important. That's the time to walk around and show, then come back. Which means, once again, I'll listen to you soon. Which means if after half an hour you came back to the shop, then he can tell you too late. Lahavdil, like the Israeli policy, I don't know, in America it's definitely better. In Israel, let's say up to 24 you can change the product. Within 2 weeks, I think you can get your money back or the voucher. I don't know. But there's like a return policy by Chazal of that has a limited time. Okay. Aren't you happy? Yeah.
Up to 6 more.
We're not talking the what? No, up to. This is 6. No, 6 already is the borderline. No, if you charge an entire shekel more, it's a very fine line. If the product is 500 and he charged 599, yeah, let's say, right? Okay, not a 6, excuse me, 6 and 7. I mean, not 5. Not excuse me. What? Right. I meant right from 6 to 7. Excuse me, I meant 6 to 7. Although what I said is Shmuel, but you're right. 6 to 7. Yeah, instead of 600, I charge 690 something. Then we say that that's it. Tough luck. You can't go back. If instead of 600, I charge 700, then if I showed it around and within the reasonable amount of time to show around, within that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I went back to the store, to the dealer, and said, hey, you overpriced me, then I can keep the product, should keep the product, and ask him for the extra 100, for the extra shtus, for the extra. That's the middle case. Now, the last case, when do we say the deal is completely canceled? Then it's above 6. Let's say the product is 600, and it was sold for what, 701? Then what? You just crossed the borderline, you cross the border, and then the entire deal is canceled. This is what we innocently think at this point. These are the building blocks, these are the foundations of the sugiyah. Okay? What's the amount of time? Well, the amount of time is l'choira, the same time to show, right? Kedei sheyare, enough time to show your friends applies to both middle case and the last case. The first case, yeah, there is the discussion later. But l'choira, the way we think now, the first case is mechila. Up to a 6, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. That's what we think now, okay? And therefore, don't come back to me crying to me, yeah, Mr. Ole Chadash, that's, in my shop, we have other standards and we can overprice up to a 6. That's what we think as of now. Yesterday, we learned another sugiyah, another mechila. I'm not going to chart it here, not for now. Remember Shmuel from yesterday? Everything, all the examples I gave up until now were according to Rav. Rav says what's called overpricing. I'm not reading inside the Gemara now. I'm still giving the introduction. According to Rav, yeah, if the product has a market price and that's the starting point, yeah, that moicher, that seller should have been honest and should have sold it for 600 or 6,000 or 6 or 6 million. And what? And he overpriced. From there, we work around. And we say, oh, you added a 6 instead of 6, you sold 7. Bad boy, you have reached the quota. That's now, you overcharged, and now things are gonna get what into middle stage. I can get my extra money back. Money was strict. That's Rav, and that's clear. Shmuel adds. Shmuel doesn't argue on Rav, but Shmuel adds another optional understanding for Ona'a, which Shmuel calls shtus mo'os. Not shtus mekach, but shtus mois. That's at the beginning of the Gemara. If you want to see, Rav Omer shtus mekach, Shmuel Omer shtus mois. What shtus mois? Explained yesterday. The example I gave before is a mistake. It's not such a mistake because that's what Shmuel believes. What does Shmuel say? Shmuel says, let's say the product is worth 5, okay, and you sold it for 6. So then 5 to sell for 6 is how much? If you look at the product, which is 5 or 500 or 5 whatever, and you added 1 shekel to the 5, you added a fifth. A fifth is more than a 6. Then you should completely cancel the mekach. That should go into the red zone of complete cancellation, right? Says Shmuel, no. Says Shmuel, no. Says Shmuel, if there's any way to look at the overcharging as a 6, it's still called 1/6. What do you mean anyway? Says Shmuel, no. I look at the money that was given, Mois. I'm going to explain it a little bit better today, I hope. He asked me for the Svar yesterday. In other words, I don't look at the product and I say, that's a product, whatever goes over the product, that's the extra. I look at the money that I gained. Who? The Schwindler, the Moicher. The Moicher gained how much? He got to his hand 6 shekels, right? And something here doesn't work right. It should have been less. Less is a big word. Now we go and we say, how much more did you gain? Well, not more from the product. From the money you got in your hands unjustifiably, from that you have to give a 6. How much is that? Oh, there was a 6. Looking back from 6 to 5, 1 out of 6, I think, is a 6, right? And we had other examples yesterday, and we'll have more examples, 20 to 24. right? Let's say a product is worth 20 and you sold it for 24. 4 is not a sixth of 20, it's a fifth of 20, right? So Rav would say, hey, a fifth, give back the whole thing, naughty boy. Yeah, because Lamaisa, you overcharge him from the product, a fifth. Yeah, says Shmuel, no, I'm looking what he gained. You're also right, Rav, but I'm adding here, yeah, I'm adding it at this Nakud. I'm saying if there's one way of what, of looking at it from with a 6 and minimize it and say it's just a 6, which means from 24 you now, from the final product, you look back retrospectively and you say, wait a minute, how much is a 6 of what he has in his hands, Mr. Schwindler? A 6, right? From the 24, I now divide it to 6 parts, and 1 second, 24 divided to 4 is 6. So now the 4 he has are 6 more than what he should have had in his hands. And that's why, says Shmuel, in this case, Shmuel is Mekel, by the way. And that's what Shmuel says. It's still considered a 6 and not more. And therefore, we still follow in the middle gather of not canceling and breaking all the kalim, but we say you're still considered as a person who overcharged just 6. Shmuel says, 1 second, I'll hear you soon. Shmuel says, as long as there is one way, either from the product side or the final money side, either way, if you can look at it and have 1/6, that's a saving grace of the moicher, and the moicher only gained the 6. And Mimela, we don't tell him that the whole deal is canceled. It also works the other way around, by the way, but I don't want to now go into that. Yes. I just want to tell you one thing about questions. I warned you, and I don't want to be I don't want to be a Tagar that lies. I want to tell you the truth. This is one of the hardest sugiyahs in Shas, and therefore I welcome questions of I don't understand, can you please repeat, or to the point. Questions of would be if really, really annoy me, because when you're in the forest, you want to just follow the path, not saying, you're lost in the trip in South America in the jungle, and you're really, really lost. So I'm thinking, what would be next year in a trip to Iceland? Deal with the jungle we have right now. I'll be very happy to your questions. I'll be even more liberal than usual for questions that are to the point and focused. Question is, Rabbi, what would be if this had happened? I'm telling you now, nicely, please refrain from those, okay? Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Baruch, I'm eager to hear your question. Before we started the shiur, by the way, and I want to hear you. Commercial time then. Weiter. Let's continue. Now we're in the line starts with Timnaya. Yeah, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from bottom of the page. It's none. We want to see from our Mishnah, we want to learn exactly who's right, Rav or Shmuel. How does the Mishnah indicate? And if you remember Rab Tarfon in the Mishnah, the whole difficult part of the sugiyah, which we haven't reached yet, is to do the story of Rab Tarfon and the Tagarey Lod, those Tagarey Lod. What was the case of Rab Tarfon and Tagarey Lod? In short, we're only in short now. Rabbi Tarfon came with good news to the Tagarey Lod and then bad news. And this is the difficulty here in the sugiyah, to always calculate why they were happy and then they were sad. At the beginning came Rabbi Tarfon, great news for Tagarey Lod. Tagarey Lod were very savvy, very shrewd, very, businessmen, macherkeit. And what did they were happy to hear? Says Rabbi Tarfon, great news for people who want to make money. I allow, but yeah, my minimum, my below the red line is a third. Wow, not a 6, a third. A third is double as much. Wow, that's great news. They were so happy. They can make the margin, right, of profit. Is that the way to say it? Is what is up to a third. Yofi, very nice. Then they became very sad. Why were they sad? Because Rabbi Tarfon said to them that on the other hand, my sum is big, but the time is longer. The kone, the one being cheated, the meune, can come to your shop not only for, let's say, half an hour, he has the entire day. That's much more than just showing it around the shuk. They're not big cities back then. And therefore, that from some reason threw them off balance, and they said, if so, we prefer chachomim. That's just the words. They said, we prefer having less margin of profit of a 6, and the customer not to drain our cup and come back. We want closed deals. We don't want to give the customer too much chance, too much time to go back to us. Okay? That was Rab Tarfon and Tagarey Lod. We'll repeat it 100 times, and I'm also going to chart it out later. We don't have to know even all these details. Now let's see regarding Rav Shmuel how it works out. Tnan, it says in the Mishnah, quoted here, Rabbi Tarfon gave a psak halacha in the city of Lod, that's, half an hour away from here. Which means, what is my measurement, what is my shiur for Ona'a? 8 coins of kesef out of 24 kesef, which is a sela. A sela is 24 ma'a, so I give you not 6, I give you how much? 8 out of 24, which everybody knows is shlish lamekach, a third of a mekach. Rabbi Tarfon, great news, you're allowed to, or b'diavad allowed to, you can manage a margin profit of a third, not a sixth. Whoa, that was great for them, and v'chule v'chule. Now, what exactly does it mean? I gave you a margin of 24, 8. What exactly is the case? Minus 8, plus 8. Well, what was it? What was the original price? What's the story? Let's read the Mishnah now through the eyes of Rav and Shmuel. So now, at the beginning, we want to support Shmuel. Why? My love must be, what was the case of 24 and 8? What exactly went on? The Zabin Shavi Shitzeri, maybe we mean to say that you sold something worth 16, right? In how much? Be'esrim v'arba. You added 8 to the 16, right? And you call that Ona'a. Now, a third of 16 is how much? I definitely know it's not 8, right? Not 8, right? 8 is more than a third of 16. True? And Mimela, now, V'shma must be, you see, that Shma min shlish mois nami shaninu. We see again, the original price was the added on 16. If they add 8 to 16, the original price is not right. It's not a sixth of the original, it's a sixth of the end price of the 24. 1/3 is 2/3. Very nice, nice. You're ready, Shmuelnik. Like Shmuel said, we look at the 24 and we subtract 8 and we say, a third is okay, and it's still called the middle of the road, not deal canceled. But if you start, now, exactly, you're on the ball. Exactly, we're now with Shmuel. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Zog the Gemara, don't prove Shmuel from the Mishnah. Maybe, but not necessarily. I could learn the numbers and play with them differently, not like Shmuel. Maybe the Zabin Shavi Esrim ve'arba, he sold something of, bought actually, whatever, both 24. There was a purchase of 24 be'shitzar. In other words, maybe the original price was 24, and he underpriced the poor seller. Yeah, instead of 24, he subtracted 8 and sold it for 16. Terrible loss for the seller. But the starting point is the product. It doesn't matter, by the way, if it's above or below. Don't get that, doesn't make a difference. We still follow Rav standards, which also Shmuel agrees to. It's not Shmuel's new idea. We start with what? With a regular product being worth 24, and from there we start playing around above or below. And that's what the Mishnah says. But your case, Shmuel, that we start from the end, we didn't see that in the Mishnah. Reg the Gemara, wait a second. The way you understand now the Mishnah, that there was underpricing, minis ana, who's being cheated, who's going with a leg with the tail between his legs and was cheated and was deceived, tricked, meicher, the seller. The seller, by the way, what Ellen asked yesterday is a Mishnah later. If the seller is a guy who agrees to underprice because he wants to get the market, that's a different story. We're talking here about the misken young man. He has no idea about money, and he was cheated. Sometimes you cheat the moicher. Loleinu. Ema seifa. If you want to tell me that the guy cheated is the seller, something doesn't work right. Why? Because what did Rabbi Tarfon tell them afterwards when it became said? Amar lahem Rabbi Tarfon told them, Kol hayom mutar lachzor. Yeah, the entire day, whoever was cheated can go back. Why? He has more time to walk around the market. Market A, Market B, go online, go to other cities. I don't know what. Yeah, I gave him more time to go back. Rav Nachman said on that, as we saw yesterday. By the way, this Gemara is very, very similar to yesterday's Gemara. Rav Nachman, lo shon elokeach. Elokeach, who has a product in his hand, he just landed in Israel with Nefesh B'Nefesh. He just bought his new phone. Yeah, he can show the phone, right? Filtered. Yeah, he shows the phone around, and he can show how much. It takes him a whole day. Aval moicher lo'olam choizer. A guy who was underpriced and is the seller, he has no product in his hands to show. You said right. He has to look for a very similar product and show it then to people. That could be months or years. And therefore, a mocher can be chozer forever. A seller that felt it was underpriced can always go back to the store, like in America, even 10 years later, and give it back. So, wait a second. So the Mishnah, if you want to tell me, in order to fit into Rav's story, that the Mishnah was what? 24 minus 8 minus third, it's very nice and conservative to start with the starting point of the original price. But the Maisa doesn't work right because you're talking about underpricing. The mocher was cheated. And right, and we're in the Mishnah, in the same Mishnah, we'll continue and talk about the buyer being cheated. That's the Mishnah doesn't fit in. The Mishnah is fragmented. Ella, as we said yesterday, extremely similar. Now we're going to come menucha v'nanachla, and everyone will be happy except for Shmuel maybe. The Zabin Shavi Esrim ve'Abba. He sold a product worth 24, should have been 24, and the market price is 24, and he sold it betlosin v'trein. He added to it 8, making it 32. For you, special price, only 32, says the seller, right? Because I like the Americans. I give you only 32. And really, how much was it? It was really 24, right? So we added 8. Very good. Now we have everything we want. We
No, how does he compare? How you telling me?
So 24 and he added 8, right? Which means, first of all, let's put that on the side before Rav Shmuel. We're talking here about the buyer being cheated. Yeah, it's a new guy from Minneapolis who just moved here because it was overpriced. And if we talk about the product as a starting point, that works according to Rav and Shmuel, because Shmuel agrees to Rav. But Shmuel's special chiddush does not exist in the Mishnah. Shmuel's chiddush, that we look at the final price, and from there we take it back, loy matzinu necessarily. That backwards idea, loy matzinu. I don't mean backwards in a bad way, yeah? We don't, no. We did not disprove him. We just showed that the Mishnah is not necessarily adding to Shmuel. And I'll surprise you, and the Gemara will surprise you soon, halacha is like Shmuel. But the Mishnah doesn't show it. When the Mishnah talks about numbers 8, 24, bam, 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 in a vague way, I can use that vague lotion and say, no, it was 24. Added to the original is another 8. And that's what Rabbi Tarfon calls still just I know, and you can't cancel the deal, just get the extra money back. That is what we say. And that is good with Rav and Shmuel, but is not good with Shmuel's extra. With Shmuel's special, unique chiddush, no, we didn't disprove it. We didn't find it in the Mishnah. To say it doesn't make sense is wrong. It doesn't make sense. With Shmuel, it makes sense. And now, not only that, we're going to see now a brisa that supports Shmuel. And I didn't see the halacha. I saw some halachas, but not on that nekuda. Tanya Kavos said the Shmuel. Halacha is the brisa supports Shmuel, and as far as the Shulchan Aruch follows that. Listen to the following brisa. We're going to have 2 chidushim. Kiddush number 1, the brisa will tell us is halacha like Shmuel. Secondly, we're going to change our view over here. Bam, bam, bam. Get ready for that. I told you, that's the ABC. We're going to have D, E, F, G. What did we say up until now before we start the brisa? The middle case is when you were cheated just exactly 6 shtus more, then keep the product. Yeah, in other words, you can't go back to the store and cancel the entire deal and say, you cheated me. Yeah, you can't do that. You can say, cheated me, and ask for the extra shekel, but not to cancel the whole deal. That's what we thought up until now. Comes the brisa, and by the way, Rashi in the Mishnah was Merames already to what we're about to see now. I'm just telling you out of honesty. Tanya Kavos to Shmuel. Listen to what Shmuel says. Mishahut al olav yadai alel yoino. Mishahut al olav means the one cheated. You can call him the victim, the underdog, whichever way you want to use. The one that came out, being swindled is called the me'une yada alel yoino. Whenever we say yada alel yoino, means he has the upper hand. I know that's what it's called in English. In halacha means he always has the choice. He always has the choice between 2 options. Well, right now, the way we learn it, there's only one option. Says the brisa, Ketzad. How is that? Listen to this. Mocher lo shove. There are two things we have to have in mind now. First of all, we're talking Shmueliz. The next sentence is a very Shmueliz sentence. Mishek mocher lo shove chamesh b'shesh. Oh, a person sold what? 5 for 6. According to Rav, what is that? Cancelled. You added 5, a fifth to the original. Hey, that's way beyond 6, right? Says Shmuel like the Brisa. The Brisa like Shmuel. Mi nis'ana lokeach. The one who's being nis'ana, the one cheated to, is a lokeach, overpriced, the buyer. Yad lokeach al elyono. Because it's the middle case, he has 2 options. We're adding Rotzo oimer tenli ma'oisai, oi tenli mashoy nisani. I'll translate carefully to English. He has both options. Customer's always right. It wasn't invented in America. It's invented here above Metzia Amud base. Either the customer can come back angrily to the Israeli shopkeeper, the shakran, and say, Tenli ma'oisa, I want my money back. All the money back. I want to cancel the deal as an option. It's one of the options, Or Tenli mashonisani, or I'll keep the phone. I like that new phone. It feels so Israeli, made in China, and I just want the extra 5 or 500 shekel back. So what we said up until now as keeps the deal but gets the extra back is true. It's one of 2 options. You also has the option to cancel the deal. But she'en here, if it was overpriced, then what's the difference? We're going to see later what the difference is. Over here, what? L'chayra, I would say he can cancel the deal, but can also keep the money. So that will be a question later. But let's leave it for now. Okay, let's leave it for now. Okay, let's just for now accept the words, and then they will be elaborated on. In other words, again, less than a 6. What do you have? No, I'm sorry, I confused with it. No. Less than a 6 mechila. Less than a 6 mechila. You can't go to my shop. This is the price. Go away, you American. That's it. Less than a 6, nothing happened. Or just 6. He has both options. He can either cancel the deal or keep the item and do the thing. Now the third case, there is a difference. I'm sorry. The third case, funnily enough, both sides can cancel the deal, including the one who swindled. Let's say the liar. Let's say the liar, from some reason, he wants to cancel the deal. Something can happen. He got so upset with this crazy American who wants good service. So he says, no, I want to cancel the deal now. You think I'm a liar? No, I'm a good... Or maybe he wants to keep the product and cheat other people. No! That's a third case. In the middle case, Yoda al-Elyoina, the one who has the upper hand is just 6. That is the misken who was cheated, buyer or seller. In this case, the buyer. The buyer can say, I hold the pen in the hand. I hold it in my hands, and I can either cancel the whole thing or ask for the extra. I can ask for the extra. No. Only the one cheated. Only the one cheated, because it's not such an overpriced thing. But she'enken, in the third case, in the case was more than a 6. I sold you 6 for 7.5, right? 7 point something, 7.1. In that case, we say it's a cancel deal, and both sides can cancel either one that they want. Why is the other one? That's already beyond normal. It's beyond and both sides can cancel. No questions now. We're in the middle of Brisa, by the way. So now, okay. Mocher loy. Another case now. Another case of the Brisa, and that case is much simpler. Mocher loy nuna mudalef. Mocher loy shove shesh b'chamesh. Oh, what happened if he underpriced? Shove shesh b'chamesh. Who would agree that if I sold 6, and I took away 1 shekel of 6 and I sold for 5, it's called, it's called the middle road. Who agrees to that? Shh. Nice. You get 6 points. Everyone agrees to that. Both Rav and Shmuel agree that if the difference of 6, either way, up or down, is for the original product, everyone agrees that's called Now, who is the one who's being cheated when it's underpriced? Minis ana mocher. Who is the one cheated to? Poor seller. The seller was not aware. He wasn't a savvy businessman. He sold something unknowing. Was a 13 years old kid. Then, if it's just just 6, then the mocher, who's now the underdog, the misken, he now has both options of either completely canceling or just getting back the extra. Yeah, give me back some money. Either says, sorry, give me the mekach, give me the whole thing back. Yeah, in other words, I sold you that jewelry for 500, you for 600. Yeah, you liar. You only, no, excuse me. You gave me 500. You should have given me 600. Give me back the jewelry, and I'll give you back the money. Cancel deal. Or you know what? Keep the jewelry, and I just want the extra 100. Give me extra 100, which is the 6. Yeah, then they're good. That's so. All we were mechadish now are two things: halacha like Shmuel, and by the way, we're going to say goodbye to Rav and Shmuel. And as far as the halacha is like Shmuel, the topic from now on will not be Shmuel himself or Rav. Yeah, will be other topics now. But we do have to remember this. I'm going to take this off the wall now, off the chart, off the rail, and we're going to just again memorize. If the oino was less than 6, then how much? Then nothing happened. So we think at the moment. Mechila, very good. If it's just 6, it bidyuk. No. Option. Give back 1 or cancel the whole thing. You guys are doing great. If it's more than a 6, then it's a cancel deal. Of course, if both sides are happy, then fine. Yes. Questions? Now, question only if the questions are to the point. Yeah. Before we continue, I want to relate, not completely answer a question here. Rashi in the Mishnah says that if you're too much of an honest guy or a good guy, and though you are cheated over or under, yeah, and you feel bad to cancel deal, maybe it's mishapora. Says Rashi, no. When the Mishnah said mutar, it's allowed. Says Rashi, it's allowed, and says Rashi, there's not even mishapora to do that, because it's a lie. Everything we spoke about before, which was beautiful, Mashicha, Kinyan, Kesef, Chlipin, that is only assuming you got the right product for the right price. If you did Mashicha in a box and you think there's a sufganiot in the box, and really it's Hamantashen, Mekachtos, right? So it wasn't a deal to begin with, right? It was Mekachtos, so it was a mistake to write from the start, okay? So that's the story here. The Seder, can we continue or fine? Now, Iboilu. Now comes the question, and we're not even up to the hard part today. Ibailu, they had a question of Besmedrash. Tochas mishtus, less than a 6, lerabbonon. Rabbonon are the ones who believe that 6 is the name of the game, as opposed to Bitalfon, which at the moment is now sitting, is not being dealt with. Rabbonon say up to 6 is mechila. Even if you come to my shop, even half a second later, I say, no, I'm sorry, you agreed, and I didn't hit the 6 mark. It's a deal. Is that really so simple? That part, the first part of less than 6 keeps, and is a mechila, keeps the product, is now going to be questioned. Do we say le'alta havi mechila? Do we say, like I told you a second ago, even he goes out of the shop so happily, hey, here's my new Israeli phone, making a photo, and 2 seconds later, he met his other friend there, and he told him, you know that, he should have charged you how much? Instead of 6, it was charged 650. That's less than a 6, right? He storms back to the shop and say, you gave me 50 shekels. Then we say, mechila. Once, because it's an embedded mechila, it's an inherent thing, people are mochel on less than a 6. Or maybe, bichdei shiar l'tagar l'kroivoi. Maybe the middle case also is to show the tagar or kroivoi, maybe, which means, let's say it's half an hour, the time to show, let's say it takes half an hour. If the person came back after 15 minutes, 20 minutes, within the time, and went back to the store and said, you cheated me on less than a 6, maybe then he can get his money back. Not cancel the deal, but get the half a shekel back. Get half of the 6 back, because it's not yet the time. Maybe even that 6 mechila is limited to time. And really only after half an hour, let's say, passed, only then we say, my no return policy started, but within, let's say, half an hour, within showing it to his friends and relatives, within that amount of time, maybe you would say, even the guy less than 6 is not mochel. No, I have my time to decide if I'm mochel or not. That's the question. Now, ve'im, it's not even done the suffix, because a very, very clear question now comes to be. if you want to tell me that both of them have a time to show, if you want to tell, excuse me, no, if you want to tell me we want to be mechadish now, again, time to show the other people that the less than shve pruta is only mechila after that time to show everybody passed. Only then mechila kicks in, right? If so, one second. If so, what's the difference between case A and case B? Let's make them nice in English. Yeah, we have case A, B, and C. What's the difference? Both of them is time to show. You have an answer. You could know the answer if you look at the chart. Yeah, both of them have enough time to show, and both of them you can go back. So what's the difference? My Ika says the Gemara ben shtus lepochas mishtus. What's the difference between shpochas mishtus? Answers the Gemara, Ika, I promise to listen to you soon. Ika, there is a difference. The ilu shtus yodalal yoino. By shtus, you have both options. Rotza choizer, you can completely cancel and break the kelim. Rotza koino machzir oino. You can be sort of nicer, keep the phone, keep the product, and just give back the extra shvindlerai. Pochus mishtus, oh, kono umachzir oino, punto. The pochus mishtus, even a latzad that, yeah, latzad that you could go back quickly before going to all the market, and you still have a chance to go back, you can never cancel the deal. So let's summarize. I know it's a bit messy here. Maybe I don't know if I'll have time to chart today nicer in the computer. But Lemaisa, less than a 6, yeah, you keep it. And now we have it sad to say, we have a question mark here. Possibly, if you're really quick before you have time to walk around the market, within that frame of time, then what can you do? You don't, then you have a chance to go back, but never a chance to cancel. You only have a chance to keep the product and say, give me the half a shishis back. The half a shtus, that 50 shekels, the 5 shekels, the less, give it back to me. Yeah, but you keep the product. In those cases, in the middle case, you have both options. If you're cheated onto a 6 BDUK, then you have both options. Either cancel the whole thing or just ask for the 6 back. And in this case, everybody cancels. These are the 3 dargos. And right now we have a question here, and soon I'm going to erase this, by the way. And that is, can I, in the lower case, in the less than 6, do I have, yes, shtickle time to look around and possibly come back and ask for the extra, but never a chance to cancel. Okay, questions? We're starting the chart now. We're charting now something for the upcoming sugiyah. The amount is a 6. Yeah, okay. How much time do you have? Let's say half an hour. Yeah, enough to show. Enough time to show your friends. That's limited time. Okay, more limited. Okay, came Rabbi Tarfon, and he gave great news to the people of Lod. You know what? I paskin the amount is a third, says Rabbi Tarfon. A third, the amount. Whoa, you can, but yeah, but l'chatchila, nobody can really come to you with real claims, whatever that is. We'll see later. Nobody can really get complete cancel, or when it's a third, and it's mostly mechila. Let's just look at the general now. A third, wow, they were very happy. They were happy at the beginning. There's Rabbi Tarfon A, there's Rabbi Tarfon B. Rabbi Tarfon later on gave them the bad news. Rabbi Tarfon A, they were happy. That was always you should remember. Rabbi Tarfon A, they're happy. And Rabbi Tarfon B, they are sad. Okay? Why are they happy in Rabbi Tarfon A? A third, right? And how much time? Time to show. Time to show is limited amount of time. The Chachomim, same thing. In other words, the person only has that half an hour. After half an hour, you go like, I'm looking at my watch. You missed that time. No. And on the other hand, much more money. Why were they so sad? Because Reb Tarfon kept his amount of third. They got so sad because he said the whole day. The whole day is much more time. It's less limited. Much less limited. That's, let's say, half an hour. That's given the whole day, right? And that's why they said, no, we want to go back to Chachomim. They said, if so, Reb Tarfon, thank you very much, Rabbi. I prefer a different rabbi. Choose your rabbi. We want the other rabbis. The question is, and the question will arise later, when you take the drama out of the whole story, when you want to be more mathematical and less, business or psychology oriented, Lamaisa, why is it better? Each one has a pro and a con. Let's take the middle case from the story. Reb Tarfon is just a Havamina. It wasn't really what stayed till the end, right? That's not true in the middle case. So Chachamim have a minus, I'll exit, yeah, that's a 6. Well, he has a plus, a third. But mitzad the time, Chachamim have a plus. It's limited. For the seller, it's good that the buyer is limited, and the whole day is X for him. So at the end of the day, each one has a plus and a minus, right? We'll leave that question to the later, which the Gemara will indirectly ask the question. I just want to plant the seeds of question to your minds. Why is it that they preferred? You can answer a lot of. I'm not looking for answers now, by the way. 1024. You can say business-wise, and Rashi will explain. I'm just planting the picture here, painting the picture and planting the seeds. At the end of the day, from some odd reason, the preferred chachamim who give them what less profit but quicker, like a quick fix, less time for him to change his mind. There's less time frame for him to drive me crazy and come back irate customer and I want my money back. They preferred that over Rabbi Tarfon, who offered them more money, but also gave the customer more chance, longer time and opportunity to drive them nuts and give back the product. We didn't even start with the sugiyah. The truth is, it's a good place to stop because now, tomorrow, we're going to buckle up and start the hard part. Up until now is the easy part. Cliffhanger, and you can chazer today, not trying to deter anybody, just to tell people to review, prepare, and all will be well. We are now holding in the E Omart Bishlama. So by the way, where are we holding cliffhanger? Now the question we have at hand is, and we're going to prove the question through Rab Tarfon and Rabbanon. The question is again as follows. When you say less than 6, so less than third for Rab Tarfon, yeah, is mechila. Is it immediate, automatic? The second you left my shop, the second you did the kinyan, whatever, that's it. No returns, no nothing. Or do we say, yes, you may get your extra money back if you come back within the time to show your friend. Past half an hour, whatever, that is where you can't go back anymore. That's the question. And that we're going to prove somehow from the discussion of Rab Tarfon and Chachamim and why Tagarey Lod didn't like Rab Tarfon in the end. That will be proven. Thank you very much. Shkoyach.